2015 January reading with me. So I just want to take a moment in time to reflect on the fact that we have moved into 2015, or that we will be about to. I'm uploading this in December, and I've contemplated for quite some time on how it is I've wanted to do the readings, because I feel to myself that the way we bring in the new year is quite potently important. It's the thoughts and feelings and actions that we have around the cusp of the new year that relay back a lot to us in how our year is going to move forward. So I feel it's extremely important to have the correct intention as you move into 2015, you know, and harness the thoughts such as success, and get out there and create what it is you want. Dream big, be the person that you're wanting to be. Start your journey for 2015 with some fire and enthusiasm, because your year is shaped primarily by you, your thoughts and your actions. So I do honestly believe that old saying, you know, when you see a New Year's Eve and you make New Year's resolutions, although most of us don't stick to our resolutions because we often make them too difficult to stick to, if you make your resolutions a little bit easier, slightly smaller, you know, like small jumps one at a time, they're generally easier to bring into your life and to focus on and to enjoy achieving. So this month we're going to be doing 4 cards. The first two cards are going to represent the first half of the month, and the second 2 cards will represent the second half of the month. And then I'll do 2 little extra things at the end of the reading for you. Hi Cancer, and what's going to be delivered for your January 2015 Cancer forecast, using the 4 cards as we've talked about earlier. Let's see, the Hierophant, the Ace of Cups, the Fool, and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that's very nice, Cancer. Let's just go back in here a little bit. 2 aces on the right rather, and 2 major arcanas on the left, although we are actually breaking this up into a top half and a bottom half, this being the first half of January and that being the second half. So we look first at the Hierophant and in the beginning of January, and we see and we feel often when major arcana cards are involved, it's more about deep issues to do with you, as opposed to do with general flow of energies that may come and go around you in the month. So there's something here more about you and your changes and your feelings and the way you're going. So it's almost as though when the major arcana cards turn up, you're the ruler, or it's your jurisdiction. It's a strange anomaly, and we're getting more and more of the majors turning up in the readings just in the last couple of months, and it seems to make sense for various reasons. But if we look at the Hierophant, he is particularly popely is a word for him. He's known as the Pope figure. He has authority, rule, regulation and indoctrination. You know, the specifics of not pushing boundaries and not breaking rules and following adhered to principles in society. So it may be that in the beginning of January there is a period there where you are either imbued to follow status quo in one way or another, whether this is your health, your relationship status quo, or your work status quo. It's almost as if you don't break boundaries. So you follow the structures and the strictures and the mythologies that are already working, because they do work for you. And when this card comes out, it's like, listen to it, because historically we've gleaned great information and understanding in the patterns of society that have moved forward. So it's no different when this card appears. you may feel like, oh, I want to go my own way. But this is a message clearly giving you the essence that you should follow current established protocol. So often that's what it is, whether or not it's about, you turn up at a new job, or you're going on to university and you're studying, or you're learning to study a new course. It's about following the discipline that already exists within that realm. So it seems to work well. This can also be about orthodox religion, and I guess just coming out of Christmas for Christian people, there is a whole realm of that, or a perspective of that resonates with us about, it's perhaps for many of us our heritage that we've grown up with. So in the very beginning of January, it feels as though this is around you, and whether you feel comfortable with it, or you're satisfied by it, or it leads you on to your future thoughts and paradigms for 2015. Then if we move into the next card, I'm just going to, the Ace of Cups. Now this is much more of a, the Ace is a new beginnings, so you've got two really good new beginnings here coming in January. And in that first half, the Ace of Cups is more dreamy. It comes to you from the dream world, like the world that we can't really fathom out. It's not so logical and clear cut. It's not mathematical or word related. This is the realm of thoughts and emotions, and it's being handed to you there with perhaps a degree of power coming in from above. We see this, the dove and the peace sign, and it's entering you, so that you might get some sort of inspiration to creatively begin something new. Now this can also be around romances, relationships, friendships, family, and it can also be around creative projects that could lead you into something new regards work. And it can be health related as well. So if you're at a juxtaposition with your health, whereby you're thinking, God, what is it I do? Who should I turn to, or what should I try next? This may be an answer for you. You may go, well, yeah, this is a really new idea, or I feel like this energy could work. So be aware or awake to new possibilities surrounding endeavours or thoughts that you may not have contemplated before. I think that's probably quite good. And when we move down here to the Fool, the second part of January, look at the sunshine surrounding him. Look at the sun in the background. He's the epitome of someone going out on a journey who says, but I don't care. I'm just going and I'm happy. And it's new explorations, new beginnings, and it's in every realm. He's just packed his bag. He's taken his best friend's little dog with him, and he is going out regardless. So there's a degree, two aces and a Fool. It's something about really new stuff for you, Cancer. At every level, we're talking creative, financial possibly, learning, philosophical, metaphysical, emotional, heart chakra. It's as if maybe you just go, whoop, bang, I'm finishing off the old and I want to start with the new. This can sometimes be a little circumspect, so that you're not necessarily aware of your future path, or you're not awake to it, or you don't care where you're going. It's like, I'll deal with the boulders and the hassles along the way. So there's a degree of I don't care type feeling involved with it. The one other thing they do say about the Fool card is, on a physical perspective, be aware of your actual movements in the daytime, because sometimes you have your head in the clouds when this card is around, which is a good thing from a creative perspective, and from the ingenuity of allowing, the freedom of not bothering about the restrictions in society or what holds you back. But at a physical level, you always have to be watching what it is you're doing. So take extra precaution when you're out and about, make sure you are focused on if you're driving a car or walking up a road or up a hill, and be aware of that. Now when we come to the last half of January and we see the Ace of Pentacles, we often associate that with the Pentacles of the financial perspective or the financial dynamic of these cards. And when the Ace is being handed to you, it's like the gift of a new financial prosperity or perspective in your life. So it can herald in some form or way of you garnishing new ideas or relationships that integrate with money. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win lotto, but it can mean that you could have prosperity coming to you. So especially for people who have businesses, you may find that your payments are being really well paid. So your debtors are paying up. It may be that unexpected back finances or tax rebates or something come to you. It may also be that you contemplate new ways of bringing in finances within a business. So you might be expanding your core facet. It might be that you have new projections or new customers. It's an ideas card. You can see the hand being handed on the cloud. So quite often it's about ideas coming into you for creating financial abundance. And it's not just finances when I see this card, because I very much see the physical plane down here on the earth. So there's a connection between the thought and the physicality, and often it accumulates in some sort of positive manifestation. So those are really great cards that you received for the very beginning of January as we move into the very beginning of 2015. Now what I'm going to do next for you is take a look at a set of cards by Tony Celerino, the Angels, Gods and Goddesses, which sometimes, it depends on what comes up, but sometimes they delve a little bit more into the personal perspectives of our archetypes, perhaps not being addressed at some levels. So Cancer, here we have the deck of cards. They are really, really beautiful, and they're quite deep and sort of spiritual, I guess. And we're just going to pick one out here. I'll roll them out across the table. We'll see which one we're going to pick. The Angel of Psychic Ability. It's really interesting that we're, in the readings I've done so far, we're seeing a duplicity of the cards that are turning up. Now what this is suggesting to you is that you have within your own innate being an intuitiveness that you need to listen to for the month of January. So it suggests that if there are any deals, and we see that with the two aces, that you could be very well given propositions in both emotional terms and financial terms or career perspectives, that if any propositions are handed to you, that you need to be very aware of whether or not they are the correct choices for you to make at this time. And sometimes you can be given all sorts of information. It can be written down to you, it can be statistically correct, it can go into the past, the future, the possibilities, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, and you can be bombarded with the information. But at some point there will be a piece of you that goes, I wonder, is this the right thing for me? Or is this the right person for me? And it's at that point that this message here, specifically directed to you, is saying, listen to your inner feeling, to your gut feeling, to your psychic or intuitive abilities, because that has the answer for you in January. So you are going to be presented with something, and you are going to possibly question perspectives of it, and you might even seek other people's advice. But I think in the long term, the message is that you actually have the answer, and you just need to really take some time out and consider what it is that you're hearing from yourself, and really, really listen to it, because you do have your answers and they are important. Okay, so I always find that a really powerful message, because I think we overlook our talents at finding our own answers. So one last look here, we're going to look at the higher vibrational energy card for the month. And even though it's summer here at the moment in Auckland in New Zealand, it's really, really cold and we have a big storm blowing outside, and so hence I have like winter sleeves on. It's interesting, no matter really how you shuffle the cards, I guess, if you spread them like this, depending on your spread and where you pick them from, the shuffling is of little consequence. Faith. Raziel, faith. And again this card has come out. So the message is, you're getting this delivered to you through your mind, because he's outstretched there with his arms out. There's lots of universal energy coming into him, and it's the white light which often comes in through the top of the head, and as well there's the purple or blue, which is all head and throat communication. So I think it is about having faith for believing in yourself and your choices or your selections or your understandings of what's being offered to you or what's around you in the month of January. It's as if you question your ability to think, gosh, could I be right about this situation? I think you need to have faith that, and strength and determination that what you perceive things to be are probably correct this month coming. And when we have faith and we put our answers in faith or our direction in faith, you are choosing to say that you accept universal support, you accept yourself, your own support and your knowledge and your understanding above others. And that is a mighty powerful place to be. And it does show extreme faith. And when we have faith, we move forward and we accept positivity. And of course we all know the lovely gifts that come with those. The positivity of faith embraces joy, embraces hope, embraces gratuitousness, embraces acceptance, tolerance, all those. It just moves on and up and up. So there you are, Cancer, that you have quite a intellectual capacity coming through for this month. So sort of all, to me, it's about the mind and your thoughts and your thinking and your capacity to do that and do it well. So I wish you, for the month of January, for the first month of the year, much faith and insight. And thank you for listening. And if you wish to uplift a reading with me, just follow the links below the video. And I wish you much happiness and faith for January 2015. Kia kaha, much aroha.